Everyone, I'm Brandt Keller. I'm a technical lead for Tag Security, the technical advisory group. Today, what I wanted to talk to you about is really getting more accessibility and diversity of roles involved in many of our different groups, whether it be projects or other efforts, such as the tags, working groups, etc., and kind of some of the options there. So if we look at the landscape, it's quickly growing, scaling, you might say. What's worked for the last 10 years probably won't work for the next 10 years. We have projects joining the landscape at a greater rate. Projects need a variety of things. If you work on a project, you maintain or contribute to one, you might find you need support for something. Maybe it's something you haven't encountered, a CV submission, security-related submission, information, et cetera, and you're like, what do I do with this? How do I respond? And we have a variety of tags throughout the CNCF that support a lot of different things or can support, and maybe not everyone is aware of that. And so for tag security, we do a variety of things. A lot of it is advising, right? The TOC quite frequently asks the different tags to support a project joining Sandbox or moving from Sandbox to incubating, et cetera. What are the requirements for doing so? What kind of checks and balances should be in place to ensure that the minimum thresholds are being met and that the landscape is staying secure? And it can be advising the TOC and advising the greater landscape, right? Working with projects, getting feedback from them of things that are needed for support, as well as advising projects on architecture, on security-related information or design around their projects, or things that they could do for end users feeling confident about how those projects could be consumed. Moving over to assessments, if you haven't had a security assessment done by Tag Security on your project, we do various things from a self-assessment, which is a self-service project assessment for security. Variety of filling out things. It really enhances kind of like end user confidence in the project, as well as the CNCF and the TOC evaluating the project and saying what information is pertinent, as well as joint assessments, right? I think each project is going to be a little nuanced. How does it handle security? How in-depth of personnel do they have to respond to the security review of different changes to the systems? And we have a joint assessment that is getting a variety of different people involved. And that is something that is very much a tag security maintainers, contributors, et cetera, experience working with a project hand in hand to do that, as well as kind of what this presentation is for is getting more people involved. If that is something that interests you, if security is what really gets you pumped up like it does for me, then there's a lot of chance for people to join us on that. And then research, kind of something that we have many working groups within the tag that can help with kind of like trying to provide a wide span publishing of documentation, publishing a white paper, things that support kind of enhancing the overall ecosystem. And so that's what the tag does. But really what I wanted to talk about was getting involved. For those who, quite frankly, do this in their free time or volunteer time, or do it as part of their work commitments, there's a lot of different ways to get involved. And really what I wanted to talk about is, how can we bring a greater accessibility and diversity of involvement to the landscape, whether that's projects and getting involved one by one, or kind of joining different tags, different working groups, et cetera, to kind of find a home for everyone. And so I think there's lots of room for meaningful contributions, especially within the tag. I think I discussed most of them. Accessibility, I think, has really been fun to learn from others personally. Each project, when you evaluate their security posture, is different. Maybe there's similar patterns used that we can learn from, but each and every one of them has a little bit of nuance, and it's kind of taking that chat loop back off approach. I know nothing about this project, and let's do this. And so there's so much room for learning and so little barrier, I hope, to joining that and saying, what patterns are other people aware of that I can sit with them and learn from them while this activity is being conducted. And I think that speaks to skills development, kind of using this as an opportunity to enhance security skill sets, threat modeling, other activities that are very pertinent to kind of everyday workforce, everyday enterprise security, all the way down to projects and applications. And then we just talk to generically sustainability of security. I don't think anybody is really going to argue against doing something more securely, but how do we figure out which security initiatives really need to scale? How do we build confidence in the landscape being a landscape of secure projects and reducing risk and, quite frankly, getting more end users comfortable and confident with the projects they're consuming. So there's a lot of room for wide-reaching impacts, getting involved on an initiative that is really meant to scale across the entire landscape. And I have a blurb up here, but really what I wanted to finish off with is just saying that security is very much a shared responsibility, whether you're a contributor on a project, a maintainer on a project, whether you're a consumer, end user of a project, and everywhere in between, for getting involved in making sure that we have the diverse skill sets we need in order to really enhance the landscape and enhance kind of the experience for everyone involved, from code contributions to security contributions to documentation contributions, et cetera. So with that said, if you are interested in getting involved, come talk with Tag Security. We'll have a booth at the Project Pavilion at 17A. Thank you.